The views and opinions expressed during this program are entirely those of the show's hosts and do not necessarily reflect those of Rude Rangers Entertainment, its investors, management, advertisers, or staff. Don't sue us, y'all. We don't have any money.
Hello, love bugs, and welcome to Dear Daughter. I'm so glad that you decided to chill with me today. I hope everybody is doing well. You know, I'm doing fabulous. Check out the hair. I'm going to Georgia. My godson is graduating from Morehouse. So I had to look good, honey, because you know the boys in Georgia, they are fine. And I just want to give the best presentation of the motivator as I can. Y'all know I'm crazy, but you also know I'm single. So if you got any brothers, older brothers, any cousins, any uncles, any nephews for my older ladies, you know, that's a certain age, you can hit me up in that box down there. It's okay. Y'all can be matchmakers. Listen here. I would do it for you. Yes, I would. So we're talking today. I want to talk about the story of David. And I want you to rush your giants. And you say, Yvonne, what does that mean? And that is giving intense attention necessary to situations. And what do I mean by that? There are things in your life that you're just going to have to hit it head on. You're going to have to bum rush it for you to be able to do what you need to do in this life. You know, you just have to do it. I want a better job. Well, then you're going to have to bum rush that internet with all of your resumes and your cover letters. It may mean that you have to have somebody look at your resume and maybe rewrite it where it looks better. You know, rewrite your cover letter. Look at some of the jobs that you've done in the past and pull from that and put that in your skill set. You know, don't look so much on your experience, but focus on your skill set, because jobs weren't your skills. What about school? Okay, your grades wasn't as good as they should be. It's the end of the year. You can't make that up, but you can look forward to the next year and you know what you were failing in or what you didn't do well in. So over the summer, tutor. Get a tutor. Get a tutor. Rush your giants. Don't let things like that keep you from being successful. For my business owners, you're stuck in a place. Rush your giants. Give intense attention necessary to situations. What's going on as a business owner? The reason why you haven't gone further. If you're trying to lose weight, y'all know that's my issue. Bum rush that sucker. Hey, if you want to do the gastric bypass or the sleeve or the lap band, do it. Don't listen to what everybody else is saying. Trust me, if I listen to everybody else, I'd still be sitting here 400 pounds. And in 2005, I jumped on that table at 400 pounds and I said, if I live, I live. If I die, I die. But God, I know you got me. And I ain't trying to be 400 pounds anymore. Now I'm chunky. I put some weight on. Okay, we ain't talking about that. What we're talking about, rush your giants. However you want to get that weight off, then you need to give it intense attention. That intense attention means you have your full attention on that situation to create a change. I'll tell you the story of David. I always say I liken myself to David because I'm always in trouble and I'm always forgiven. Because like David, I learned from that story, as soon as you do something wrong, really quickly say, God, forgive me. Forgive me. Forgive me. Because he understands we live in this world and there's temptations, there's things we should do and we shouldn't do. When we go to him for forgiveness, he likes that because then he can wrap his arms around us and let us know, I understand, everything's all right. And, get up, don't do it again. And, do better. Do better. God is like our most favorite fan. He's our best cheerleader. He's rooting for us to do what we need to do. And David was always in trouble, but the thing he always did was he went immediately to God asked for forgiveness, and he never went back to do the things that he did previously that got him in trouble. Another reason why I want to talk to you about David is because David had 5 smooth stones and a slingshot and took down a giant. And if you don't know the story, whether you read the Bible or you don't, the story is so great to motivate you to get done what you need to done and get over your obstacles. He had a slingshot and a stone and took out a giant. When you do research on David, it says he was fair to look upon, but small in stature. So if they say he's small in stature, I'm thinking David might not have been no bigger than 5 now, but he was fine, for back in that day. I don't know, he might be fine for this day, but he was short in stature. And Goliath was a giant. So we're talking 7 feet tall or more. So you're looking at 5'9" compared to 7'9", and that's 2 feet taller. And he could have been taller than that. And David didn't flinch. There was nobody that could take this giant out. And David did not flinch. The giant even laughed at him, like some of the things that's in your life is laughing at you. That schoolwork is laughing at you. That weight is laughing at you. That business is laughing at you. That relationship is laughing at you. Ha, ha, ha. You're never going to make this better. You're not going to conquer me. And David stood there flat-footed with a stone and a slingshot and took that giant out. So you say, stone. Well, the Bible says 5 smooth stones. So you wonder why it talks about the stones being smooth. Well, the good part is I'm a country girl. I grew up playing with slingshots. You never get a stone or a rock that has edges to it. Because when you take the slingshot and you put the rock in it and you pull it back, you let it go, the air will take that rock and move it to its area. If it's got all these different grooves in it, it's not going to hit the target you want it to hit. So you always get a smooth stone because the air takes it right there. Pow. So that's the reason why you want to give your situations intense attention, because then it's going to take you right there, pow, to that situation so that you can conquer it. David also was a castaway. So some of you that know the story say, Yvonne, he became the king. He did. But when they went to his father's house to look to crown the next king, they asked Jesse, where are your sons? Jesse showed them all of his sons, and not one was worthy. They said, do you have another one? And that's when he said, oh yeah, David, the sheep herder. Again, being a country girl growing up on a farm, there's nothing nastier than a sheep. I'm telling you, I'd rather have pigs than sheep. Sheep are nasty and they got a nasty attitude. They have the nastiest attitude. I don't care what they say, gentle as a lamb. Okay, well, they start out as lambs, but when they get to be sheep, they got a stink attitude. So you got this stinking animal with this stinking attitude, and that's what he did all day long. He made sure that those sheep stayed together in a herd, none was lost, and nothing came against those sheep. And he had to deal with the stench and the poop and their stinking attitude. And sheep, since they're like really kind of docile, that's why I got that stink attitude. That's the only thing they have to protect them. There's always something trying to come against them. Lions and tigers and bears, oh my. So David was out there wrestling with all those animals. So when it came time to get to Goliath, he's like, I just knocked out a lion yesterday. I ain't worried about you, Goliath. But getting back to the story of how he was chosen, his father said, oh yeah, David, he's in the field. It wasn't like, yes, check out David. No. It's just David in the field. And when you do research, it's a possibility that David was a child that was born out of wedlock. So he wasn't given, the attention that he should have gotten because he wasn't the inside child. He was an outside child. And they went to check out David. And when they looked upon him, they knew he was the one. So when the world looks upon you, it knows you are the one. So all you have to do is stand up to those giants and take your rock that's smooth, put it in your slingshot, pull it back, aim, pow, and knock it out. I don't care whatever it is. You have 5 smooth stones to handle the situation, to conquer the situation. If David at 5'9" was not scared of 7'9", then there's nothing that comes into your life that you should be afraid of either. You just have to face it. You have to give it intense attention. It doesn't mean hooping, hollering, yelling, and screaming when stuff doesn't go your way. It means looking for the right way to handle possibly a wrong situation. And when we come back from break, I'm going to give you some pointers how to use those 5 smooth stones for your best interests. We'll be right back. I'll be right back. You'll be right back. We'll be right back.
David Axterby of Long Island Telecom. We are your cellular superstar. We have the best in no-contract cellular on every carrier in the United States. We also do portable MiFi units, home phone service. We could beat your cable company at their own game by providing you very inexpensive TV, and we are a Sirius XM dealer as well. We can create a website for you, give you a special corporate email, and we do credit card processing. 631-833-9679.
It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.
Hey, love bugs, I'm so glad you came back. And before we get into talking about rushing your giants and how you can rush them, I just want to thank you so much for listening and viewing. Your support just encourages me to continue forward. And Dear Daughter is one of the top 20 shows at Rude Rangers TV. So I want you to go to ruderangers.com, check out all the shows. It is 24 hours. I know some of y'all are up studying. Listen, put it on as background music. You can hear me all the time. I know it's not music, but you know what I mean. Like when you come in the house, you turn the TV on just so you can have something to listen to. And there's a lot of great shows, and there's a lot of stuff for you just to enjoy. So check it out, Rude Rangers TV at ruderangers.com. You can catch me anytime. If by chance you miss one of the shows, you can always go back and find it. It is 24 hours. And if by chance you heard something you really, really like and you want to listen to it again, please go to Rude Rangers TV and check it out. So I want to go back to rushing your giants and giving intense attention necessary to situations and your 5 smooth stones. Your first stone is your determination. You have to be determined to make sure that you're going to have and anticipated end. And what that is, you're going to be successful. And whatever it is, the obstacle that's standing in your way, that you have to rush that giant and get through it. Okay, so you have to have determination. Number 2, you have to have information. How can I do this? I need to know how to conquer this. I need information. Google it, find a therapist, read the Bible, whatever. You need information. Number 3, you're going to need assistance. Find somebody who's gone through what you've gone through and ask them to help you get through it. Now, the thing is, what I find about people is once they've been successful in something, they really want to help everybody possible to get to the same place they are. Find somebody who stopped smoking and say, girl, I want to stop smoking. Can you help me? Yep, this is what I did. I did A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And it'll just come out. So you're going to need assistance, okay? Number 4, you're going to need a plan. You know, take your thoughts, put them on paper, make it a document so you can look at it. Write out a plan. What the issue is, what needs to be done, how you're going to get it done, and what you're going to do when it's completed. And number 5, what I tell you all the time, pray. Because that's the strength that you need to get to the next point. Your Creator knows exactly what you need. Your Creator knows who you are. So you need to go back to the Creator about the creation and say, help this, your creation, to be what you have created it to be. And you'll knock Goliath right down every single time. Okay, I hear you, but I'm gonna give up. Okay, my producer don't even know this. 4 months ago, right when number 5, so in February, I was going to totally give up on Determined Women of Destiny. It looked like everything I did for that talk show didn't work. Every suggestion I had, I put into place, but still that show wasn't where it needed to be. So I had 2 other shows. I had He Said, She Said, and I had Dear Daughter, and they were doing fine. So I was like, you know what? I don't need the headache. This talk show can go wherever it needs to go. I got those other 2 shows. I'm good. And I remembered Determined Women of Destiny was the baby that God gave me to carry. And when you are carrying a child, for those of you who have never given birth, and to those who have, you will say yes and amen. In the beginning, it makes you sick. As you're carrying, you gain weight. And by the time the end comes, you are so weary, you cannot wait to give birth because you've been carrying this extra load and you really want to see what's been inside of you all of this time. So when I remembered that, I said, I can't walk away from my baby because this was something that God birthed in me. I had went through a lot. I was at a radio station, an online radio station. I was the show op and the engineer. Everybody else's show was glowing on Facebook, and I got this blue screen behind me. And every time I asked about it, well, it's the date and time of your show. So I changed the show. And it was still the date and time of the show. And I couldn't get anybody to be a show op or an engineer. And I'm sitting here looking like, ghetto Greta from, the hood with this blue screen behind me. Just a blank blue screen, nothing on it. And everybody else's blue screen, you had a news background, like you were literally sitting in a news station, and I got a blue screen. So I said, you know what? I'm not paying any more money for this. I'm out. And it broke my heart. It literally broke my heart. That was the giant standing in front of me. And I let him, smush me in the head. I got you. And I just didn't know what to do. And I even stopped talking to God about it. I was like, well, you know what? Whatever, Lord, whatever. And it was a friend that spoke to my producer and said, I think you need to meet her. And voila, I'm here. And even though I've had great support to help me get here, it was really frustrating. So a couple of months ago, I was like, just let it go. You got 2 shows. That's good. Just let it go. But as a mother, you never let your child go. Even if your child is cutting up. I got a 36-year-old. I'm about to choke as soon as I get from talking to y'all because she did something crazy again. But you never let go of your child. You love it. So I had to love Determined Women of Destiny. And my show's name in the beginning was Determined Divas of Destiny. And I was good with that. Divinely inspired, victoriously anointed. I'm good. Until I was at an event and I had a pen and I was giving out pens to everybody. And a woman emphatically said, "Oh no, I know what the connotation of diva is." And, 2 weeks before, it was plastered all over Facebook, the meaning of diva. And the meaning of diva does have a demonic connotation. And I didn't want that, but more than anything else, every woman doesn't feel like a diva. So if you don't feel like a diva, you weren't going to check my show out. So Determined Women of Destiny now was born. So that is every woman can now be a part. It wasn't just a small segment. So I put that 1 stone in that slingshot. Okay. Pow. Fast forward. I had to remember all that I had went through. I'm quite sure David remembered all of those lions and tigers he was fighting to keep away from his sheep, and he had won. So he wasn't going to let this giant come against him. Not at all. And I wasn't going to let that giant of, I just can't get this right. I mean, every time I sent my show in, the programming department had to come back to me. "Oh, Miss Man, it didn't come through." "Oh, you sent it. We can't open it." I mean, every week it was like, oh my God, what's going on? But it was the birthing pains. It was the birthing pains to where that show is now. And because of that show, this show was birthed out of that show. Got to stand up. You got to rush your giants. You got to have your stones with you. And you got to be ready to use them at any time. And don't ever, ever, ever give up on a dream, a hope, or a possibility that you know is rightfully yours. I started this because a friend of mine did not want to go to the radio station alone. I was not asked to be interviewed at all. She was asked to be interviewed. She said, "Hey, Yvonne, can you come with me?" I said, "Sure, girl, I'll go with you." And we both snuck out of work. Sure did. So glad I ain't working at that job now. So just in case my boss is listening, it wasn't the job I'm working at. Okay. But we both snuck out of work and I put those headphones on my ears. And when we did the sound check, I was astounded at what I heard. And even though I was talking like I'm talking now, in my mind, I was like, that's me. That's what I sound like? Oh my goodness, what I just said made sense. And I have never left since. The biggest thing in your life is the day you find out what you were put here for. When David knocked that giant out, he knew what he was put here for, and that was to reign. And that's why he's one of the greatest kings in the Bible. You will always hear about King David. And from King David came King Solomon. I see some of y'all nodding your head. Yep. That story that you heard in Sunday school, right? King David and Solomon. One of the greatest leaders, one of the greatest kings ever was David. David, because he rushed his giants. Think about how great you will be when you conquer your giant. And just know, that giant was the first in a long line of what David had to conquer, because David's problem was women. I told you he was fine, right? His issue was women. His issue was women. But there came a point in his life when he realized that his issue was women. He repented. And when he was put in a situation to be with a woman again, he totally said, no, been there, done that. Nope, I was wrong. I was wrong. I was wrong. You will not be able to wear that crown correctly until you overcome what's coming to you. And you have to rush that giant. You have to let that giant know exactly who's in control. If you are struggling with substance abuse, that's drinking, that's drugging, you're going to have to look that thing in the face and let it know, I am in control. If it's a sexual addiction, I am in control. If it's money, I am in control. No matter what it is, girl, who's in control? You in control. So until next time, my love bugs, I thank you so much for listening and watching. Thank you so much for making me one of the top 20 shows on Rudy TV, Rude Rangers TV. And I need you to go there and check out all of the other shows. So until next time, love bugs, hugs, kisses, and smooches. Love ya.